I'd like to call to the order with the allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Brand,
Here.
Director Clayton,
Here.
Director Adams.
Here.
Steve and
They're not going.
did they have info? Okay. We have all of them.
Moving on to item number 1, public session for items on the agenda. Statements from the floor will be heard during public session. Request to speak forms are provided for those wishing to address the board. After completing the form, please give it to the clerk. The board will establish a time limit for received testimony, in this case, 3 minutes. Is that a new? Can we keep it that short?
What?
Can we keep that short, that short moving forward?
Yeah.
Oh.
Especially.
Our attorney reduced it, so I would think so.
Thank you. Okay, nothing
Oh,
heard?
oh, it's because it's a special meeting.
Oh.
Is that right?
We'll do it again.
Okay. Nothing heard. Moving on to item number 2, update and discussion of runway rehabilitation and related capital projects and funding.
Oh, that one was left off, so it didn't charge.
Oh. Do we have, I don't like it all?
Now shows on.
Okay, so as you know, we are out to bid for a runway rehabilitation of runway 1230. In the process has been a number of developments, and working with our engineer, we realized that we were getting ahead of our skis and we really need to check in with your board. Tonight, we're not going to ask you to take any action. We're going to tell you where we're at and hope that the president will feel confident enough to give staff direction to proceed with what we're proposing. The main thing is we were out to bid, just for some background. So we were working with the FAA, we came up with a plan to do a phase 1 this in the immediate future for essentially the first 1,800 feet of 30, using only bill AIG money, which is a special set of money. Part of the motivation to do that is that money cannot be commingled with AIP funding. It all has to be accounted for, paid separately. So it makes the math harder. It's just a lot easier administratively to keep them separate. So that was what we're proceeding with, thinking we confident that bids would open tomorrow and we'd have something that that would allow us to get 1,800. Last week, the FAA called us and said, sorry, we made a mistake, but you have $1 million of AIP money, entitlement money that's about to expire this year. You need to spend it in this project. So we said, no problem. But once we opened the door to managing the project with those two sources of funding, if we're doing it for $1 million, we can do it for the rest of the entitlement money we have. So we're thinking this first phase, we think we can get the 3,500 potentially with that additional $1 million. Part of the struggle we're dealing with is we're asking them, okay, we're going to open bids, we're going to go through the normal process of sharing all the information we share with them that turns into them awarding us a grant. That process can take months. It's all dependent on when the federal bureaucracy, all the way up to the top, the way their grant approval process works. They have until their only deadline that they're worried about is September 30th, the end of their fiscal year. So they will only commit to that. Well, if we start September 30th, and depending on how we schedule this, we're in the winter. We're into Airfest 2 weeks later. It just didn't make sense. So normally what we do, and in my experience is normal business practice, is you wait that time period, whatever it is, and you wait till you have a grant in hand and you award the contract at that point. Because everything's buttoned up the whole way. Because this, and we talked to the FAA yesterday about what we're presenting, because we are very confident that we're going to get a grant, because it's all entitlement money. There's no discretionary money. There's no effort for the FAA to see where the money's going to go. It's all earmarked for us. Some of it's expiring, they want it to flow. What we'd like to ask, and John Smith's here to give you the details, is that we go through the normal process, but we don't wait for we go through the normal process with the FAA, tell them, boom, and they go, okay, now we're gonna start our grant process. We don't wait to award the contract until we get the grant. We just run on the confidence that the grant will show up before September 30th. We do whatever we need in the contract, we don't have to pay out on any of the contract until after October 1st. So we'll have the money, but we will save, John can show you the details, but we can save 6 weeks of precious time with a project that most of it can be wrapped up in 6 weeks. So with John, I'll allow John to come up and share his thoughts.
John, before you speak, Daniel, this would be.
Yes, it's related to the item, so it's.
No, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about, we can have that in the contract, right, saying that. We can pay after the grant comes in.
You can do it, yeah, we can, when Johnson, I think once John presents, we can.
I'm gonna go right to that question first, because that's a great question. So, John Smith, Tartan Engineering, President Moreno, members of the board, thank you very much for having us, and for giving us the time. I think Mark did a great job of summarizing. This is a wonderful opportunity. As he mentioned, we are in the process of preparing yet one more addendum. Within that addendum, we can identify such things as the contractor first pay request will be processed essentially October 1st or thereafter. As he just mentioned, that's the next fiscal year. You will have a grant before that period of time.
Can I interrupt, John?
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that John's issued an addendum delaying the bid opening from the 5th to the 17th to facilitate
Yes.
the stuff we need to do.
And the other reason why we're here tonight is if we don't get a chance to put this in the contract document through an addendum, then this board will not realize the full value of what we're talking about. The value will slide to the contractor. Right, Mr. Adams? Correct. Yeah, and our interest is your interest. So we want you to realize the full benefit of what we're talking about, what we're discussing tonight. So historically, the FAA for the last 35 years I've been working with AIP has said we're gonna issue grants early this year. They have yet to issue grants early this year, ever. Grants will come out the last 2 weeks of August, first 2 weeks of September. At the Tahoe conference, they used to have a fax machine up there where the airport managers were getting their grant offers on the 8th of September up there at the conference. It was nuts. We have no reason to suspect the FAA in 2025 will behave any differently. So we should expect that your grant will show up and it will be the last 2 weeks of August or the first 2 weeks of September. Martin mentioned your entitlement money. That is your money. There is no decision that the FAA needs to make about where that money is going. They will not take Santa Maria Airport District entitlement money and give it to someplace else. It is yours. The other color of money is what they refer to it as discretionary money. Two different pots, two different silos, whatever you want to call it. They can play with discretionary money forever. They do. I want to give you the confidence that the only thing we're talking about tonight is your entitlement money. We will not commit this district to a contract with a contractor for anything above your entitlement amount before you get a grant. So please.
Thank you for clearing that up. That was gonna be my concern. That was my only concern.
Please be assured, I'm serious. We recognize the discussion we're having. Every year, we lose this wonderful construction season. Nice, warm, dry, because we're waiting for money. And then we get the money and the next day the rains come. We have, because P401 is asphalt pavement, it's hot mix, it's temperature sensitive. It's certainly precipitation sensitive as well, but here we're more concerned about temperature. So a normal practice for a job of this, of what we're talking about, 'cause I've done a bunch of these, would be We signed your contract with the contractor in September. We then have 2 months maybe of contracts, bonds, insurance, submittals. And in the case of our paving project, P401 hot mix, control strip. Then we entertain going to full production. What we want to entertain today is, we opened the bids on the 17th. We have made our decision within a few days. We recommend, we've reviewed all of the submitted documents. We initiate contracts between you and the designated contractor. All of our communication still goes to the FAA. They're getting that. And honestly, this remains in the spirit of the AIP program. It is a reimbursement program. They don't care if you did this work technically last year. Provide your documentation, you're still good, you're still eligible for the funds. So we would be under contract with the contractor I think there's a nice colored table there on the, maybe one of the documents you got.
It's on the back.
All of the blue section is what we would call the preliminary stuff. Green is when we hit the ground running. August 25th, notice to proceed, we're out there paving. We're going, and our target is to get as much asphalt down before the air show. The scope of the project, primarily asphalt pavement, probably 80%. You've got grooving, you've got grinding off the initial surface, you've got some electrical, you've got some subgrade work along the shoulders, your shoulders are substandard. But the predominant scope of this project is paving. It's the most temperature sensitive, it's all those things. It's also the big mobilization, the 50 guys and all the trucks and all the equipment. And when you do paving, it's major production. Electrical, 1 or 2 guys, minor, it's small stuff. That can happen later on. It can happen, it's fill-in work. That's honestly the way it is. So the purpose of today's meeting, special meeting, and I appreciate your time, is to consider authorizing staff, when we come back with the construction contract prepared, authorizing staff to sign that contract in advance of receipt of a grant. And then in so doing, we can go through all of the blue schedule stuff in July and August. We can be in full production. We can be off and running. We needed to meet today so that we can put this plan in this addendum to the contractors before the bids show up. So if there's positive nods tonight, then we're gonna go back tomorrow morning. We're gonna work on this addendum. We hope to get the addendum out on Tuesday of next week, and then the bids will be the following week. That is all timely within California Contract Code time. That way you get the full advantage of what we're talking. And again, my last note here, and I've said it before, is we would not commit the Center Airport District to any financial obligation over your entitlement amount.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I'm here for any question. I want you to be comfortable with this.
Makes sense.
So we're looking at a runway closure of about a month.
Yes.
Okay. This won't affect the crossing at all?
The crosswind?
Strictly for 1230, right? The crossing will still be open?
Operation Crosswind is, so. We are currently, based on yesterday's meeting, it's our plan to do repackage this as a base bid and an additive. It will get you possibly up to the Crosswind runway.
Okay, yeah. With the 3,500.
Yeah,
Well, what I'm asking, John, is
Don't leave, stay there.
will we still be able to, fly out of Santa Maria as GA?
yes, this will be open the whole time.
Okay,
We're not gonna get there this year. Wait,
So where you,
That'll be next year.
that'll be next year. We'll be back. I'll have another discussion.
where?
So we're starting down here with 308. Then we'll be working in the northwest direction till the funds run out. We have a base bid plus an additive alternate. We do that because it gives us flexibility and award of contract up to the grant amount. So we could potentially get in this job to about here. Next year, we're gonna come back, pick it up. Next year, we're also doing some electrical things in the vault and other bells and whistles for you to bring some of your systems up to current standard.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Make a motion that we approve.
We're not asking for a motion, it's just that the agenda is just,
It's direction.
You know my direction.
Any further questions before we submit direction?
No, that's. Yeah,
No comment?
I'm excited to get it going, and I think it's a bold approach to get going for that, and I think we don't have anything to worry about, because we have it built in the contract that says, if we're out of money, then, we stop. And nobody gets to sue us because we don't have any more money to keep on proceeding forward. We're only gonna work up to the amount of the money.
So I just want to clarify, the contract will not say you can start the construction. And if the airport doesn't get the money, we're not gonna pay you. The idea right now is that there's a delay in, and I think what John, you're describing is that the total amount of the project will not exceed the amount of grants funds that you expect. So basically he's saying, we're gonna balance your checkbook and make sure that it's balanced. But you're waiting for a check to come in from the FAA. You know that's your money, that's what John and Juan were saying, it's an entitlement money, not discretionary money. You know it's coming in, it's just coming in at the next pay period or the next.
It's a timing issue.
It's just a
It's
timing
it's a
issue.
cash flow timing.
and we're gonna time it so we don't have to pay until the grant's awarded, because
Right.
that's very short. We pay, but before it clears the bank, that FAA is reimbursing us, so we can't. We're gonna maintain, we're gonna keep us in that situation.
Okay.
Just to be clear, the airport's not gonna leave the contractor out to.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we would like to get it finished from start to finish, for sure.
And it's part of the reason we're here, the reason we're here is that FAA threw us a curveball last week. The FAA might throw us a curveball next week. So we're gonna keep you informed, we're gonna let you know what's going on, and when we think we're getting ahead of ourselves, we'll check in with you all.
Okay.
Yeah, I say go forward.
Direction to proceed.
Right, thank you, sir.
Director. Moving on to item number 3, adjourn. Bigger motion.
Make the motion.
Motion.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.